Yes! Yes! Let's go! After years of Layer 2 being out, we started by 2-cycling Chaser, back when that was impressive. Then we figured out we could grip him, and then we got him down to beating Chaser in 1 cycle, which eventually merged to being able to 1-cycle grip him without even building chain stacks. But now we can officially 0-cycle grip Chaser. Yes, by the time his starting dialogue is over, he is already dead and about to burn to death. This is the ultimate Layer 2 build, both a 0-cycle Chaser build and a build that can consistently clear Chaser in under a minute, making Star Sovereign V2 the ultimate Layer 2 build for both power and speed. As always, I'll be dropping the build maker links and showcase at 2,000 likes or 500 subscribers gained on this video, so join the Discord so you don't miss it. And a huge thank you to my channel members, especially those kind souls on the Mega and Super tiers. They get these videos early along with other channel member perks. Anyways, let's get into how I progged Star Sovereign V3. Hello everyone, and welcome to the second attempt at the Star Sovereign V3 progression. If you're wondering what happened to the first one, well, I finished the build completely, then I found out that Ignition Union Origin was bugged, and then, well, I'll play the clip of what happened right after I decided to do a Layer 2 anyways. Bro, what? I clipped out of bounds with lightning impact and then I just died instantly. Yeah, I pretty much just instantly died, no reason, no warning. I died to gravity despite having a Tyrian pendant on, so like, I have no clue what was happening there. I did restore the slot just because I have a bunch of ether equipment on there, but it doesn't matter anyways since that build was very specifically made for the Ignition Union Origin, and well, if the Origin doesn't spawn you in the right place, since it's currently spawning me at the Lightoak area, then there's just no point to making the build. So that is why I'm progressing this build instead. While in terms of pure speedrun ability, it isn't the fastest, the main gimmick of this build is going to be the fact that I can 0-cycle Chaser on it. I'll give you a little bit of backstory on this. So initially, I did a stream trying to 0-cycle Chaser. I privated it just because the build itself wasn't working, and I didn't want to lead people to thinking it was possible. The build that I based it off was the standard IronSing speedrun builds that people are running, since as of right now, you can 1-cycle grip Chaser without chain just by using metal turrets and metal rain, since those build chain really fast and deal a lot of damage. So I used that blueprint along with another talent called Rending Impact, which has the unique effect of managing to knock down Chaser and extending the 0th cycle. The 0th cycle is just when you're talking to him, by the way. So I combined those two so I could get an extra M1 as well as extra time of metal turrets dealing damage. Unfortunately, it didn't end up 0-cycling. M1s are just not powerful enough, plus I think the fact that I was using Duke Relic caused issues with Chaser becoming invincible way faster. However, one of my friends and one of the best speedrunners in the game, Polar the Frog, whose channel I will leave in the description, ended up progging a similar build, except he modified it to be a pure mage instead of just M1ing, as he just got the minimum heavy requirements for Rending Impact. But when he combined all of these together, that ended up with him being able to 0-cycle Chaser, and even perfect it to the point that he could 0-cycle grip. So I wanted to essentially stack a little more mobility, potentially a little more damage, and see if I can do the same thing quicker. Obviously, Polar wasn't going for the fastest time in the world, but I think with this build, I can probably get a mid to low 2-minute run. It could be quicker, but wave dashing is currently not working. Plus, the Union Origin, which is the usual way that I save time, is also not working. Also, atoms are currently desynced on this Thresher. Providence Thorns is very much saving me. So yeah, make sure you go check Polar out, as he originally, attempted this with Pure Mage after seeing me use Hybrid. So he did get the first 0-cycle grip, and I want to see if I can make it a lot more viable in normal runs. This could potentially be the new meta for speedrunning, although because I'm not going a pure mobility build, it's not going to be perfect. Heavenly Wind, I would normally get that, but Gale Lunge is what I need to get. Something that wasn't in the game when Polar progged was the new Saint Sworn requirements of 50 of each element. This means that I can save points on Shadow, an achievement that I don't normally go. Oh, okay, Angel's Wedding. I might want to lock in for a little bit. And, oh my god, this angel isn't dead. What? Okay, there we go. I don't have a flame mantra, so I can't can't burn them, but as long as this angel doesn't go super bad, I should be fine. Angels are still one of the hardest things in the game, I can't lie. They just hold S, they use mantras, and they deal a bunch of damage if you miss a parry. I'll keep leveling up Gale to 50. Hey, where was I? Oh yeah, Saints and requirements. It's now 15, which means I need to spend less points on Shadowcast. Shadowcast was a bit of an issue, simply because, well, I don't use anything from Shadowcast, so it's 15 extra points I need to invest for an oath. However, since it's a lot cheaper now, that's a little bit less of an issue. Plus, Saint Spawn just has really good mantra slots and really good talents in order to just make your stuff a lot stronger. So it's definitely worth doing. Although you can easily substitute in Jet Striker on this build, you will just have to do more mantra swaps. I don't know why I'm going Vitality, I don't need that at all. Anyways, keep investing into Gale, only 3 more points left. The Enforcer is going to be really easy since I have Providence Thorns, and I think this might be GG for the Enforcer. Providence Thorns will just deal way too much damage to it. I'm surprised Trial of 1 actually let me start this time, since normally you're not allowed to bring enchants in, and I didn't pass this sword down or anything. Now I'll just start going into Heavy Weapon, because I need to get Rending Impact as soon as possible. Actually, I'll probably have to equip a Great Axe to get it when the time comes. Well, hopefully I'll remember to do that. Don't need any of these. Guess I'll just grab Aftercut. Fire Gun is going to be good post-shrine, however, oh yeah, I forgot. Burning and Freezing is currently bugged. I'll just grab Warden's Blades for now. Now let me keep investing into Heavy. We might get to the end of the pre-shrine at the end of Trial of 1, I can't lie. This is a very easy pre-shrine, and the post-shrine isn't too hard, since it's mainly just a bunch of element training. Golem with these Stone Knight with desynced animations is really hard. Okay, thank you, Providence Thorns. I am still not used to the new Golem animations, which aren't so new anymore. I mean, the fact they're desynced at the start doesn't help either. I'll grab Gore Mad because you do actually want a lot of carry load on a layer 2 build, just because it means that you're slowed down less from carrying items. Plus, it's just good QOL since you can just take stuff from the chaser chests and sell it. If I did want to min-max even harder, I could have gone the Crestfallen modifier, since that means my armor is always broken. That's a good thing in speedrunning, as you can proc the lightweight talent really easily, which does actually make you move faster. Unfortunately, I didn't get that, and I do actually want to have some mild defense on this build, in case I want to use it for the future. Another power-up. Punishing Blow is not quite what we need. I will burn the excess rare cards, just to guarantee that we actually get what we want. Don't need any of these. I guess I'll just grab Haunted Gale for now. Alright, this could be Lightning Clones. It is nice. Obviously, doing it like this, I don't have access to the Mystic, therefore it's very hard for me to actually get all the stuff I need pre-shrine. Anyways, I think that's actually everything I need to do. Do I not even need to do the rest of Shrine? Okay, wait, no. Okay, I do need to get 35 Intelligence. Okay, I get 35 Intelligence pre-shrine just for Perfect Flash and Neuroplasticity. So it looks like we won't actually finish the pre-shrine at Trial of 1. However, it will be really close, since we only need a few more intelligence points, which we can easily get just by reading the books at the library. The good thing about starting with the Ignition Union Origin, or just Trial of 1, is the fact that I can just grab the book and start to do the Talon Hand quests, since I'm basically just gonna go to Crypt of the Unbroken anyways in order to get a little bit of XP to train. Okay, the unfortunate part is I do this in low player count servers just to reduce the likelihood of getting ganked, but that does mean my ping is really high, so I can't really fight back against anything in PvE unless I'm able to stat check it, which you really can't stat check a lot of humanoids, I can't lie. So it appears that me relogging, because I just went and had dinner, actually gave me the extra Talon Hand. That is an interesting way they work, and is actually a little bit useful, since it means that you can essentially get the extra Talon Hands whenever you want. That might be used at some point for a build, although not now, because I can't be bothered. Okay, wait. I forgot I'm going to Crypt of the Unbroken. Okay, because I was gonna start this clip wondering what I was doing last, but I remember now. Now that I'm at Crypt, it's as simple as getting the aggro of one of the guards, and then I basically just stand still parrying and let Providence Thorns do the rest. Okay, but I might as well take this time to talk about the Titus update, since at the time of recording it was still pretty recent, and there is quite a lot of stuff PvE-wise to say about that. The first thing is, well, what do I think about Titus? Is he actually good. And in my opinion, not really. Well, okay, I don't think Titus is bad by any means, and I am purely just looking at the boss fight and the dungeon, not all of the other changes that were added. The issues I have with Titus is simply just the fact that the VFX make him pretty hard to read, and he's a huge change of pace from other bosses, simply because we've pretty much just got to react off what color his moves are making over something like his animations, which is mainly just a new thing that people have to adapt to. No-hit runs won't take very long for people to get, and I'm sure people have already done them. Okay, that was World Serpent I was hearing. I was wondering what that was. Okay, let me focus so I don't die. But apart from that, I have a lot of issues with the dungeon itself, mainly in the fact that I personally just don't find humanoids that fun to fight. Like, there's worse things to fight, certainly, but it's just difficult to make a good humanoid in my opinion. I think the only two that really come to example are Duke and Maestro, which are bosses to be fair, but Maestro has his own issues nowadays of basically just move stacking and parrying everything on heavy, unlike the other weapons. And Duke itself, well, the humanoid part of the fight isn't that fun. It's more the shield breaking phase and actually getting to him. But the fact that a lot of these humanoids are dealing over a bar in M1 and just hitting super hard kind of takes away from the fight for me. Because like the curved NPC can do like 3 bars if you end up missing a parry on a crit, which, you know, that's a lot of HP to be taking on a pretty tanky PvE build. However, oh well, that's just how things are. I do think they could tone down the damage numbers or do stuff like stopping the NPCs from having multiple enchants. But although I will say there was definitely some mixed reception at the very start of the release of Titus, I think that given time, people will end up, you know, being okay with the update. Because I was one of those people that really didn't like Titus at the start. Like, personally, I just didn't think the fight was fun, and I still really don't, but I can see the appeal it has, and it also plays a lot differently to the rest of the game. If we're ignoring the Titus thing, I think, you know, more depth to the equipment system is also really cool, and I do like it. I'm pretty sure a lot of the recipes are going to get revealed with time, since it is pretty unfun to just randomly put stuff in the crafting recipe and hope that you get something cool. Okay, let's check this chest. I might as well loot it so I have stuff to grab. Apart from that, there was one other massive PvE change this update, that being the unfortunate fixing of Poser's Ring. For those of you who don't know, Poser's Ring basically scaled twice, allowing you to reach, well, a lot more damage than you should have. However, the thing is, you needed to be at max chain and flawless the enemy for it to actually be worth it. Because if you didn't, then Poser's Ring really wasn't that strong. However, now that it's fixed, medium PvE is pretty much dead. Light and heavy still do exist, and they are decent, but compared to how good medium was at its peak, PvE builds are a lot less diverse nowadays. Since medium was always an option, it was just not many people were skilled enough to make use of it. So yeah, I kind of hope that they add it back, because that was a really cool interaction with Poser's Ring, but if they don't, well then it's just up to light or heavy. As for which one of those is better, that is sort of indecisive. I am testing that with Lunar Lord V3, which was actually meant to be the prog in place of this one. It's just that with Lunar Lord basically being my flagship best build nowadays, I do need to take extra time to just make sure that the build has enough feats, whereas with Star Sovereign, people only really make it for Chaser and Sword of Atheron, so it's a lot more simple to make. Also, I don't know why I went to the banker. Okay, I will keep reading the encyclopedia till I power up. Power up? I've just been sitting in guild base spamming the encyclopedia because I honestly think it's faster, plus I can just leave an auto clicker on and actually start to edit the footage. Don't really need any of these. We obviously don't want Return to Dark Ages on a mage because that would just be a hindrance. Guess I'll grab Mantra Permanence. It doesn't really matter what I'm grabbing. And Spark Swap. I think that's all we need pre-shrine. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure it is. Okay, I'll check the build maker link before we go to Shrine of Order, but I think we're fine. I see a Voidwalker. Hello. Is this guy about to jump me? What's the build? I spelt it wrong, but good enough. Yes, say something to YouTube. Say something to YT. Say something to video watchers. There we go. Only took us 3 attempts. X girds. I love you. I'll give it one of these. Okay, we ended up getting 35 intelligence. However, I still need to get some extra cards pre-shrine. So I think I'm just gonna head over to Etris in order to buy a battle axe. That way I can actually get rending impact. And then I just need to get neuroplasticity and perfect flash, which won't be too hard. I also realized that I actually need to unlock Shadowcast because I forgot to start with it. So I'll just transfer over some more Umbral Obsidian and go to the depths to do that. What is worth discussing is a question that I actually get asked quite a lot, and that's how do you actually get into speedrunning? Now, if you're a PvE player, you don't necessarily need to go fully in on speedrunning, but it will save you a lot of time and make grinding for what you need significantly easier if you do actually understand speedrun tech. And the best way to do that, in my opinion, is to join the Speedrun Discord. I'll leave it linked in the description below my own. Obviously, in the Speedrun Discord, we cover all sorts of speedrunning stuff, and there is a lot of top runners in there that are more than happy to explain some of the tech that we use. Plus, there's a lot of guides in there and ways to practice speedrunning. I believe one of the top runners, Kalamiyahu, made and is still updating his speedrun practice game, which allows you to practice some of the movement we use. He coded all of that from scratch as well, so he can confirm it's pretty accurate since he asked for a lot of input from speedrunners just to make sure everything was perfectly accurate. I mean, that being said, technically the wave dashing in there isn't fully accurate since wave dashing is bugged in Deepwoken, and obviously Kalamiyahu did not bug his wave dashing. So yeah, technically the speedrun practice game is better than the actual game in terms of movement bugs right now. Speaking of, I don't know why they haven't fixed wave dashing. For some reason they made it so that it works in every dungeon except layer 2, which is really weird because if they wanted to make speedrun builds slower, which I mean, I don't know why they would do because there's no real downside to letting people beat layer 2 fast, but like wave dashing isn't even the top dog of movement. That would be G-Leap, which is like double the speed but is more situational. And then of course you've got crazy stuff like God Canter into back warp, which lets you move even further. So yeah, it's probably unintentional that wave dashing still doesn't work, and hopefully they end up fixing it soon because it's been way too long and the speed of this build is not at its peak simply because I can't wave dash or abuse the ignition union origin because it just doesn't spawn you at the union base in layer 2 and spawns you at regular light hook entrance without Bonekeeper being done and with no light hook, so it's just a strict downgrade. Speedrunning as a whole is very daunting to get into at first because, well, obviously you're only seeing the runners' perfect runs and not the hundreds of other attempts that have failed. That being said, it does take quite a lot of skill as well. Like, I myself, I'm not that good at speedrunning. Specifically talking about layer 2 speedrunning, I'm not particularly good. There's a lot of tech that I definitely need to brush up on again, and stuff like G-Leap, which is, well, the main movement tech that takes you from Generator all the way to Furfire Caverns, took me about a day to get good at, and now I'm probably still pretty much 100% consistent at it, since it was just a matter of learning where to aim and how high to aim my Glacial Arc. There's definitely a lot of simple stuff like the Spark Swap for Bonekeeper, wave dashing when it works, and stuff like Gripping Chaser that is just general stuff that you can take into a lot of builds and just save you even more time. I kind of just realized that I should probably get coal just because post-shrine and towards the end of the build, I do like to farm Ferryman, and thus if I get coal now, I can just craft an Umbral Flint. Luckily, we were pretty close to the Legion Cave, and I happen to know that a few ores of coal spawn here. I already have the Umbral Obsidian since I just picked up 99 from my bank a minute ago. For some reason, I have like 300 stored in there, so I mean, I guess that's convenient for situations like this. I'll just go ahead and craft the Umbral Flint. There we go, and now I'll sail over to a whirlpool. We'll get Shadowcast in depths, and then I think I'm ready to Shrine of Order. Okay, so I just went into a whirlpool, and it appears that I created a new Australian server. There's not many people online right now, since at the time of recording, it's like 11 AM, so most people are at school. Therefore, I think this might not get many players in. Okay, you know what, just in case, I am going to like hop to a public server, because maybe it's like a bug server. And I still do like to play on like, you know, even ground with other players because I feel like it gives the progs a lot more. Oh, never mind. There's actually just 4 people in Australia online. Like, there's literally no other servers. There is actually just 4 people. I was gonna say, I like to play on like public servers because it makes the progs more interesting because stuff can go wrong when there's other players. Because, you know, I could just go camp in private servers and prog like equally as fast, but it's simply just more fun for people if I play in publics. Plus, I also get to meet you guys, and I actually have a really nice fan base. Like, so many many people will come up to me and just take screenshots or even just give me relics from time to time. You know, I am not complaining about. We've made our way to the Shadowcast NPC. Now I should get the Nightblood. There we go. Drink that. And now I actually checked on the build maker and we can safely power up. So I will just invest a couple more points into strength. And there we go. We've got even more talent hands before Shrine of Order. Perfect Flash. That's one of the cards we needed. Neuroplasticity. I think that's the other card we needed. And I don't think we actually need anything else. I mean, I guess I'll grab Eureka because extra carry load can't hurt. The more carry load you have, the less you're slowed down by the weight in your inventory. So it's technically more efficient to run a lot of carry load, although it's probably a very, very small difference. There we go, another carry load. And more song chant. Okay, let's head over to Temple of Hearts. So just looking at my mantras, we pretty much have everything that I need. However, I do want to get Heavenly Wind. Although this mantra doesn't work currently, it's almost certainly going to get fixed in the future. So when it does, I actually want to be able to use this build at full power. I'll go to Unification and unify two mantras that I don't really need. Get rid of these two. And okay, not what we needed. I'll reroll Gale Trap. Go, get rid of that. 1 star. Okay, Updraft. Looks like we're going to be using a lot of knowledge. I probably could have just done Mantra Quest and Surface if I remembered. Okay, we're getting pretty damn unlucky. Get rid of Tempest Blitz. And there is Heavenly Wind. Alright, we didn't actually need this mantra again. It's more just I want to do it for safe. Also, I like to log when I see a player. There is a man with a spear, but you know what? It kind of contradicts me just logging from that guy chilling, but I am going to trust him. Let me just go up here, and I guess I'll check for any, like, missing pre-shrine talents. Okay, let's see. Pre-shrine. Okay, we actually need, like, no talents pre-shrine, surprisingly. Yeah, we already have everything that I need, I think. I got Wind Step. I think that's it. Alright, let's Shrine of Order. This guy friendly. Yeah, he's chill. 18 and everything. Let me check the build maker. Yep, looks correct. So, Shrine of Order. Alright, now I'm just gonna go do Depths Trial in order to escape Depths, and then we can continue progging. Never mind. Never mind, chat. Don't do what I did. I bricked the build because I forgot to equip a Great Axe to get Rending Impact. So, I'm just gonna wipe and reprog as quick as I can. Yeah, this was totally on me for forgetting to do it. I gotta remember next time to actually equip a Great Axe. This is why you check your talents before you Shrine of Order, even if you think you've got all of them. Better to be safe than have to reprog. I mean, it's fine though. We didn't lose that much time, but you know, it's like half an hour I gotta spend getting the stats. Okay, that didn't take too long, luckily. We managed to get back to the same point. I checked, and I have Rending Impact this time, so 80 and everything, and we can Shrine of Order. Let's hope I don't need to do the pre-shrine a third time. Guys, this is why you actually, you know, check your stuff before you shrine. Don't act super overconfident like me. The first thing I'm gonna do, though, is Shrine of Mastery Shadowcast all the way down to 15. With the new Saintsworn Rex, we can interact with the pillars post-shrine as well, due to, well, having all these stats. So now, I'm just gonna save time by idling out, go to Hive, and keep progging. Actually, no, I think I'll get my Oath early. I feel like doing that for a change. Because we spawned at Etris, I'm gonna go to the easiest pillar from here, which is the Frostraw pillar at Crypt of the Unbroken. Just arrived at Crypt, and I believe I hear players clearing it out right now, so this just means that I can easily go through. The first one is the Frostraw one, and that is actually the hardest because it's an insta-kill on the floor, and a lot of the stuff collapses. But I think we're good just because of Gale Leap. Jump across to here, and there is 1 out of 6. Alright, I'm going to head over to the Gale pillar now by resetting. I think it's about time that I finally talk about a very decisive topic in terms of PvE, and that is simply what is the best PvE build in the game. And I once again have to state that a truly singular best PvE build is impossible. There just cannot be one best PvE build. A lot of people think a generalist means you can do all the content in the game, which, okay, Deepwoken devs aren't designing the game to only work with a certain type of build. Well, like, correction. Deepwoken devs aren't designing the game where only one type of build can win. The exception being Diluvian, but you do need to keep in mind that Brick Wall is by no means required for Diluvian, and Diluvian is meant to be played in a team. although there is certainly some issues. I just wanted to bring up the fact that Diluvian technically isn't as bad as people think, especially if you consider that soloing it was never on the dev's mind. But anyways, I don't know why I talked to this guy. It is totally impossible to make a singular best generalist PvE. If the challenge was simply to make a build that can do everything, that's not hard at all. You can beat layer 2 on a freshie, always AFK did that, Chaser and Atheron.
We did it! We did it! No way!
You just need time and skill. So by that means, the best PvE build would be something like Seraph Soul. Then comes the part that most people don't really consider, and that's the fact that efficiency matters. Let's just say that you needed to do a bunch of layer 2s to get medallions for dye packets or enchant grease. Sure, you can run something like Seraph Soul. You're going to be able to kill Atheron in one cycle without too much issue. But the time it would take Seraph Soul to clear multiple Atherons compared to the time that it takes something like Lunar Lord or Star Sovereign is significantly different. It's so much slower that you're better off reprogging an entirely different build because you're just going to have something that's more efficient. Okay, so if you try to make a Diluvian build, then you're going to have a build that's just inefficient for bosses. Because, you know, one cycling chaser isn't an issue. That's not really that hard to do nowadays if you just min-max your damage. But it's just the clear time of the actual floor. So what's the solution to this? Well, it's the fact that most people honestly don't care about the Diluvian, because if we're being realistic, Diluvian is far from meta for relics. It's just the best solo method, because stuff like Elder Primadon runs the risk of you getting ganked, Enmity requires at least 4 other people, and Titus is new and still pretty hard. Although I'd say once people get used to him, he's a lot more consistent and more fair to fight than the Diluvian. So we ignore Diluvian. What's the best then? Well, then that could be the Lunar Lord Heavy variant. Although the thing is, that specs a lot in 2 mode. My ship's in a whirlpool, I gotta reset. Okay, I'll continue this in a second, but is that guy good? What's his dialogue anyways? Does he even have, I don't think he, okay, I think his boat despawned, but he didn't, so he's now just sitting there. But we're gonna head over to the Shadow Pillar now. But as I was saying before, some people may not care about Chaser and Atheron, because realistically to an experienced player, they don't give you a whole lot. So then, well, you ignore both of those, a different PvE. Some people might not care about Duke or Maestro, different PvE. Some people don't want to do Enmity because they don't have teammates, different PvE. Okay, I think you guys see the pattern here. There can't be a best PvE because everyone does different stuff in this game. The best PvE is simply whatever you find the most fun and what caters to your needs. That is why I say there can't be a true generalist PvE, because it's not a matter of doing all the content, it's a matter of doing the content that you want to do as efficiently as possible. Well, efficiently and consistently. Okay, with that little yap out of the way, I think it's time for us to go to the last pillar, and... wait, it's blocked? Wait, what? Oh no, it's around here. Okay, never mind. There we go, we have the Oath and can now equip even more mantras. It'll take a... oh wait, can we interact with the pillars now? Okay, no, you can't skip the progression with them. Can you? You can! Oh, I did skip the progression. Nice. Okay, that saves me a lot of time. Now I'll win passage down here, and I say we head over to Hive now and finish up the prog. Now that we're at Hive, we can easily just grind jobs. Since we're the Union Origin, we'll get extra XP, therefore this is gonna go extra fast. Plus, I did equip Vow of Thorns for the reprog, just because I wanted it to go extra fast. Ordinarily, I wouldn't recommend doing this, as Vow of Thorns is just, well, a downside most of the time, since you have to spend a lot of time getting out of depths. But for this one time, because this build is pretty much only going to be in layer 2, I figured it was worth running. Also, I'm just going to take this NPC and parry him with Providence Thorns. I don't really know parry timings on Blood Red mantras, since you don't see them in PvE very often. Oh, that's way too much for me to parry. Can someone get this NPC off me? I can't actually fight him that well. He's tanky though. Like, that's a lot of Providence Thorns that's hit him. Anyways, let's start to get our strength up. I'm gonna go to 25 burst. Also, getting all these extra powers just means that I can breeze through a lot of the more annoying elements, like IronSing with autodidact points. So 2 more. Wait, is this is not my guild base. Well, we got all the strength we needed anyways, so I guess we start to grind out agility. Actually, let's do this first. If I only need 2 more Frostral points. I do need a bunch more flame, but realistically, I only actually need 20 for now. Actually, no, I do need to get 30 because I need flame leap and flame sentinel. Flame sentinel isn't really doing a lot on this build. It's more of a, if you fail the zero cycle, you can still kill Chaser in the next 10 seconds. Because we're at the point where zero cycling Chaser could actually be faster than the slam dunk insta-kill. It's just that zero cycling at the moment requires you to build up to max chain, which isn't always viable in speedruns, considering just how tight some of the times are. Also, damn, we actually got all the flame charm we needed passively. I forgot how fast Valve Thorns was. Sadly, I'm not going to use it very often because going to depths after one death is pretty annoying, but it's definitely something that I'm going to keep in mind for any like Hell Mode or Layer 2 builds. Okay, let's see. We do need IronSing, but I don't think there's any good 1-stars for us. Therefore, it's probably better if I go for something like Glacial Arc. So what I'll do is I'll unequip my mobility mantra. This way I'm a lot more likely to get a mobility mantra in this talent hand. We don't want Champion's Regalia, but I will take Precise Swing for the carry load and passive agility. Bulldozer, that is exactly what we want. And okay, we didn't get any of the mantras we needed, so I'm just gonna roll 2. Now I think I can just spam my IronSing out. I'm gonna get my IronSing really high, but I am hoping to get metal turrets, since I can then just train on my lightning clones in order to get an insane amount of XP. I don't even... we can get reshape and remold, so there is a point to getting Scrap Singer. Now I'll get Flaming Flourish as a secondary way to light Chaser on fire. Since we're not going Eruption path in this build, it is an option. More Erudition, then I'll spam out my IronSing even more. Okay, we won't get another power through just straight autodidact, but that's fine because we should roll metal turrets here. I'll get Song Unforged just to get more of the Scrap Singer tree out of the way. I'll get Evasive Expert because this build actually can get Ghost and it's just free passive agility. There's metal turrets, but I do need to modify it to be better against lightning clones. So I'm just going to transfer over some mods. The easiest way to do this is for me to hop on my Kamui slot and go to the person that sells sparks. I will need a magnet spark as well as 2 multiplying sparks. 1 for lightning clones and 1 for metal turrets. Okay, never mind. I just got called broke. Okay, let me go like sell some enchant stones or something. I don't use this slot very often, okay? There we go. 2 enchant stones is more than enough. I did a bunch of enmities on this back in the day, so I do have a ton of extra stones lying around. Grab 2, and now I'm gonna hop slots over to a slot near Etris just so I can buy the mods over there, since I will need a lot of them. I don't really know what I need off the top of my head, so I'm just gonna spam buy a bunch of the ingredients. Because I'm running a pure mage, I'll have a lot of ether, and thus can sort of just spam a lot of modifiers without any downside. And now that I've transferred all the mods over, I can just grab them out of the bank and go ham modifying my mantras. Although I'll probably only do metal turrets and lightning clones for now, just because those are the 2 things that I'm going to be using for training. Everything else can come later when I actually have my final set of mantras. So now that we've got our lightning clones fully modified with log stones and metal turrets with all of the rush and drift shards, we essentially just spawn in the lightning clones like I just did and let the turrets kill them. Because I'm dealing damage to something with IronSing, I'm gonna get a lot of training XP. I'll be able to easily power my way to 75 IronSing. Because of that part of the prog, I'll need to go to Ferryman to uncap. As I'm sure you've noticed, the main change from Star Sovereign V2 to 3 was the removal of the High Flame and Frost. This is because IronSing alone allows us to get to that 0 cycle chaser or even 1 cycle grip mark. This just means that we have a lot more points saved up in order to go stuff like Saint Sworn or go high agility for more movement. It just gives us a lot more freedom of what we can do with our points. That being said, the original Star Sovereign V2 is still just as strong as ever and can pull off all these same feats as before. So in the event version 3 is nerfed, V2 is perfectly fine. There appears to be people in my guild base. Actually, wait, it's just one guy. I think it was training Charisma? Why did he leave though? Wait, where's he going? Why is he running away to a different guild base? What? I'm not that scary. At least, I don't think I am. Oh, I've been identified. Hi. Say hi to YouTube. Say hi to YouTube.
Hello.
Is that who I think it is?
Oh
It's
my
me,
God.
Agamatsu.
Oh my goodness. I hate you. I hate how you're doing to this game.
Oh, okay. At this point, I'm nearing the end of the IronSing grind. I've just been spawning in my lightning clones and letting turrets kill them, along with doing some thresher jobs for more XP. So this just means that I've been gaining a lot of points. There's another power-up. We're also not getting too many cards that we need now, since IronSing has a lot of talents that just don't really affect us in PvE. Another thresher over here, I'll kill it for more XP. And I guess I'll grab Artisan's Blade. I still do want more Scrap Singer cards for Reshape and Remold. Thresher Claws. I mean, Chaser doesn't have any armor to pen, so it's not really doing anything. But it's always good to take a... What did that Thresher die from? I have no clue. But as I was saying, it's always good to take an extra rare card out of the pool. Now that we're basically at the end of the IronSing grind, I'm gonna move on to doing all of the agility training this build needs. I wish there was some way for me to actually skip the animations of the longer to train things like IronSing and all that, since agility has a really short one. I'd buy it for like 500 echoes, and it would make progging just that little bit more convenient, since I'm not waiting for animations to play out, and I just instantly get my point or training XP. Like, training Charisma is gonna take way longer than training an element, which takes way longer than training something like Fortitude or Agility. It's just small stuff like that that makes progging more bearable. Anyways, now that we have capped out on agility points, I am just gonna wait for more jobs to spawn in order to get our next power up. Okay, I think we have like 2 King Thresher jobs here, because I think 2 people spawned at once, so this means when I kill them, there's gonna be a lot of training XP. I'm surprised no one's done. Oh, okay, wait, we got 1 kill, got the other kill, and yeah, that's like a full power right there. Now we've just got to finish off this Thresher. I'll save my bad all, that way they actually get a HP pack. Anyways, we definitely have enough to power up now. Sadly, points just reset between powers, so that means all of the agility points that I just got from killing all those King Threshers won't actually count. But it's okay, because we're power 18, and towards the end of the progression anyways, because we still need to do the bunch of Ferrymans in order to actually get Bell. Ooh, Impaler, that is what we wanted, since it'll mean that we can deal extra damage to Chaser really fast. And Flame Leap as well. This is a really good mobility mantra, and it means once we get Cap Artist, we can actually G-Leap with it. Speaking of Cap Artist, I should probably go get the Charisma training item in order to actually get the requirements for it, since I'd rather get it sooner than later. That way I'm not waiting to Shrine of Chance for it in the future. Another power up, going nowhere's 6 passive agility, which passive agility and speedrunning just allows me to get more climb height and all that, since it can never hurt to climb higher on this build and slide slightly further. It's small time saves like that that make up speedrunning. We'll also grab Fireforge. It's a quick cast mantra, so if I need to squeeze out that little bit more damage, the option is always there. Anyways, I'll grab even more jobs. I've got a lot of people here at Hive progging with me, so I can manage to clear them pretty quick. Another job complete. This should allow us to get to another power, and okay, just short, but it's fine because there is another spawn right over here. I'll just place metal turrets and let them do all of the work for me. And there's a Thresher dead, and be all because I definitely combat tagged someone. And now, there we go. Another power up. We're at power 20, so that's pretty much the- Wait, no. Oh, wait, no, I zoned out. I zoned out. I think the build might be ruined. So I don't want to be at 78 agility. I was meant to keep investing into IronSing, but like I zoned out and just started investing into agility because it's easy. Oh wait, that could have bricked the build. I might have just bricked the build at the final part. I meant to get more IronSing so that way my IronSing mantras deal more damage and I can guaranteed 0 cycle grip chaser. But like, I don't know if it's possible to do anymore because that's a lot of extra IronSing points that are taken away. I mean, sure, 78 agility does give me level 5 dash, but I don't know if that's worth it. Because if I can't 0 cycle chaser now, then the build's... Oh, that guy's dead. Okay, well, I'll take out these threshers just to get even more XP. But yeah, I think I might have gutted the build. Oh, because like, yeah, this is like the worst time to zone out as well, because, well, I'm at the end of the build. I can't, you know, reprog super easily. It's fine to mess up right before pre-shrine, but messing up now could be really bad. I mean, I might as well just go to 80 agility anyways, because like, I mean, I'll get level 5 dash, and I will have to do plenty of testing on Chaser because, well, I don't know if I can still zero cycle grip. This is like really bad that I messed up the stats. At this point, I've done about 20 ferrymans, which means that I'll definitely have Bell. The question is, what Bell do I want on this build? And I'm not fully sure myself because there's a lot of options to me. And it doesn't overly matter what Bell that I get in the end. Because, well, I could get something like Run It Back, allowing you to G-Leap. I could get Smite for some extra damage. Or I could pray that I get a Legendary Bell. It just doesn't really matter what I get. And I also might use a War Master's Medallion just so I can build chain quicker with the Saint Sworn crits. Due to the fact that Rapier is 4 hits, it means that every 3 seconds I can guaranteed build 4 chain really quick. So it's probably worth me using. Also, whenever I do cycle through all my Saint Blades via critting, it does give my mantras a damage boost. So that's another thing I need to keep in mind. But now that all the ferrymen are done, I suppose it's time for me to go to depths and actually bell check in layer 2. An issue that I do want to talk about, apart from the state of this strip because of my equipment, is the fact that all of the new recipes are essentially just blind guessing. Now, while I obviously think it's really cool to have, you know, more recipes in the game that we need to find out, there is a lot of merit to saying that needing to blindly guess isn't the best thing. And what I proposed to fix this was that due to the fact the Ignition Dungeon has bookshelves in it, potentially we could find research notes of the authority scientists that give us a little hint towards some of the crafting recipes. Obviously not directly telling us what the recipes are, but if it was something like Storm Enchant Stones to craft a piece of equipment, it could say something like Stored Tempest or something like that. You know, just small riddles that we need to solve in order to craft a piece of armor, and because they're in books, you still need to actually interact with the dungeon in order to, you know, find them. I feel like that would just be better than blindly guessing. Plus, it wouldn't be the hardest thing to add, since you just need to add a new book to the loot pool and give it some writing. I do want to pitch my idea for something else that is likely to come to the game, because Argomatsu's been talking about wanting it, and that is a potential chef oath. Because I believe a chef oath can fulfill where Soulchemist failed. Now, Soulchemist is pretty problematic in terms of the amount of recipes it can make, but I do think it is a cool oath in concept of being able to make a lot of different potions and change stuff around for effects. However, I believe that if a chef oath was made, it should purely be a supporting or quality of life oath. So it could do something like, instead of giving you like direct like damage or defense buffs, it could just make food for your guild, and that food just does simple stuff like you get a little bit more XP, you increase gathering speed, you have a chance for double drops. You know, just small stuff like that, that's just quality of life. Also, we are going to kill Bonekeeper and get Atheron's Gaze just because we will need it for later in the progression when we're actually running chases. So I'll just go up this hook, Lightning Assault over here. Why did that send me over here? What? The walk all the way back now. It's okay, I think I remember the route. No, I don't. Wait. Oh, okay, no, we're good. It's over here. Okay, go over here. I should probably clear parasites for safety at this point because I got blown off by the wind. Now I'll just continue to go through. Why did it pause me over there? Of all the places to get paused, it had to be right next to the thing where the wind was. No. Okay, we're good. Just sit still. Oh my god, I hate this wind. It's so annoying sometimes. I can't believe I actually got paused just over the edge. Like, I could not get any unluckier. Honestly, the wind in layer 2 is just kind of annoying nowadays. Actually, no, there is a boots item that makes you immune to the wind. That might be worth running on my ether kit just for quality of life. Okay, we're just gonna kill the Bonekeeper normally for this first time, and of course he spawns on the other side. That's only a minor time loss. If I got the better spawn in front of me, then I would have been able to burst him down faster with Metal Rain and Warden's Blades to build chain and all that. So just unlucky we got the bad spawn. The Frostraw Saint Stance ends up building me a lot of chain because it's a high multi-hit. Plus with Bonekeeper having a big hitbox, all of the hits will hit, and I'll just get a ton of chain stacks. Now, because I have Tier Pendant, and Wind Passage, I know it's safe to do this, and we should be right in front of the Union base. Here, We'll go inside. I will clear my parasites for safety because I have been outside for a while. I already have Union Hook, so I don't need to grab it. And now I can just no-clip out into maze. So go through here, dash through this little opening. And you know what? I am going to kill the carbuncles. There we go, both dead. Take the spear, nothing in the chest. Fall out of bounds. And now we just go hand in the spear for Etheron's gaze. And, well, that's how you quickly get both quest talents. I could have probably done this in under 3 minutes. It's just I got Bell and had, you know, issues with the wind blowing me off. There's Etheron's gaze, so I guess I'll head to Chaser. I'm not going to be seriously trying to do Chaser this time around. I am just going to get through his initial dialogue so we actually have a chance of zero cycling him. I don't expect this Chaser kill to be a 1 cycle. Also, we don't have Metal Rain, so that's a lot of damage we're missing. Oh, and my internet went out. Oh, wait, that means I have to do the full layer 2 again. Oh, damn it. Okay, we got back to Chaser in a decent time. Now I'm just going to build up my chain stacks. I'm going to go for a full chain Chaser kill to just see how fast we can do it. 3, 1 more crit. Oh, never mind. 1 crit, 2 crit, 3 crit. Where are the lightning clones going? What are you doing? 1 more crit, 4 crit. And then we light them on fire. Okay, then we can... Oh, I don't know if I can... Okay, we don't get the Saint Swarm buff, but that's fine. Okay, break the blood jars. I misplaced them! No! We're not gonna get much damage, chat. Yeah, we completely misplaced the turrets and we got like no damage there. I mean, still a 1 cycle, but it wasn't clean at all because we were like at like half our damage. It's fine though, I'll learn the placements, and the placements for the 0 cycle are way easier anyways. The first Chaser kill was just to get the extra dialogue out of the way. Actually, I realized we didn't even have Metal Rain 2. So yeah, we were literally at like a quarter damage there. Okay, nothing we need here. I will take the Ishins just for future sake. I'm carrying too much. Alright, I need to probably sell stuff, get all my mantras talents, and then we can do Chaser again. Now we can get our free reroll at Young Shoal. I just want to check to see if we actually get a good bell. It doesn't really matter too much what one I get. Although I guess Smite or Run It Back would probably be the 2 best, because Run It Back can let me back warp in layer 2 and Smite is just a little bit more free damage. Anyways, I think it's time to start to get the rest of the mantras we're missing. So let's see. I'll get rid of Firing Line in order to get Metal Rain. So guarantee Metal Mantras, 2-star. Now where's Firing Line? I'll reroll Firing Line. And okay, didn't get anything we need, so I'll have to use my burns. Get rid of Iron Quills. Still nothing that we need. Get rid of this. Yes, I'll grab Graceful because I can reroll that. Reroll Graceful Flames. There we go. We have Metal Rain, which is going to be the secondary mantra along with Metal Turrets for us to deal damage. At this point, I think I just need to get Flame Sentinel and that might be it. I think with these last few mantra levels, I should have everything that I need leveled up. See, the only things not equipped are Wind Passage, which can stay level 1, and Heavenly Wind, which is also fine. There is 1 mantra swap in this build, but honestly, that's fine. A single mantra swap isn't really a lot to ask. So what now? Finish all this. I say I just go do a Chaser. Actually, no, I need to get a Grim Battle Axe. Okay, I'll get a Grim Battle Axe, then attempt Chaser. I won't be going for a particularly fast time the first time. I just want to test if it is possible to get that 0 cycle, which it should be. Okay, I'll just chuck this in the bank. I think I have a Grim Enchant Stone on one of my Enmity slots, so I'll go grab it off there, and I'll just grab a Battle Axe from Eatris. While I'm at it, let me also just empty out all the gems I have, reduce my carry load even more. We need that. I'll probably chuck blue gems on everything. Yeah, I'll chuck blue gems on everything, and then I'll chuck a blessed gem on Metal Rain. Don't think there's anything else that's weighing me down right now. What is 21 carry load even from? Oh, schematics. Schematics maybe. Okay, that would explain it. Yeah, there's a bunch of schematics. You know what? I'll also sell all of my training items, because I don't need them anymore. And we're down to 8 carry load, which mostly just comes from our gems. Okay, yeah, let's transfer over the battle axe and complete the build. So unfortunately, you can't actually drop a Grand Fisher helm to other players. This just means that I need to go clear the Ceramid Hollow on my own. It's fine though, because I have a Diluvian build not far away, so I can just clear on it. Technically at this point, this is an unobtainable Diluvian build due to the fact you can't get Steam and Crystal anymore, which was a very unfortunate change that I hope they revert at least for Crystal, because I don't really see too much of a downside to letting people keep Steam and Crystal. You could maybe make Eruption exclusive since that changes Flame Charm a lot, but chilling in Crystal doesn't change as much, so I think it's more fair to keep. I don't know how deep we need to go in order to get a Grand Fisher helm, so I'm just going to kill what I can. Hopefully we do end up getting some sort of a Ceramid rework soon, since I actually don't find this dungeon to be that bad and think it has a lot of potential, mainly in stuff like environmental hazards, and just a lot of RNG on different things you can face. Obviously, right now the dungeon is far from perfect and certainly has its flaws, but I do think it could be really interesting. I believe Ceramid rework is the next big thing on the devs checklist anyways, so I'm very interested to see what they do with it. Apparently, like, the main systems are in place, and it's mostly just different sorts of maps that we're waiting on for the update to be done. So hopefully that means we'll see it in the next month or two. I am still yet to get a Grand Fisher, unfortunately. Maybe I get it a lot deeper into the dungeon. Okay, I think at this point that I am getting Broodlords in the waves. So this is going to become a little... Oh my god, no, my internet! No! My internet went out! Actually, I don't think that's even my internet. No, I'm pretty sure this is Deepwoken servers going out. Because, like, you know, like, I'm watching a video, that's fine. I can refresh a page on my second monitor. Let's check. Yeah, that's fine. It literally is just my internet going out. And this means I'm now in depths. And I have to redo all of this dungeon. Very high chance we're back in depths, and yep, we are unfortunately in depths. Oh, why does my internet have to go out at the most inconvenient times? I think that was probably deep enough where I could have actually gotten the Grand Fisher I needed. Well, I'll just idle out of depths, and we'll run that back. Okay, I think at this point I might be coming across Broodlords, so I should be locking in to get as much damage as possible. I don't even know if they're resistant to new DVM as well, since originally their armor was meant to make them take half damage, but DVM works a little differently now. At least the good thing is I can still kind of just obliterate them with the power of Steam. I'm not even using my damage buffs either, I'm just going in with my normal mantras. Hopefully this means I'm going to be able to get Grand Fisher in the chest this time. Wait, no, what am I doing? Grand Fisher helmet just drops from the NPC. Why am I doing Ceramid? Yeah, I'm sure someone's corrected me in the comments, but you just kill the NPC in the depths. You don't need to do Ceramid. I mean, I guess I'll get the chest and the dip. My bad, I don't know why I thought it was in this dungeon. I'm thinking of Abyss Wanderer, that's why. Because you get Abyss Wanderer from this dungeon. Okay, well, I'll go check the chest and then head out of here. Okay, never mind. I didn't even kill everything. You know what? I can't even be bothered. Let's go to the depths and take the job. After I went to go kill the fisherman and finally got the Grand Fisher helmet, I started to run layer 2s. It took me a few tries in order to actually get the pattern down, since there was quite a few inputs I'd need to memorize, especially with Saint Sworn. But I'll go over the first run that I actually got a 0 cycle on, which isn't even that efficient considering that I could have got a far better time. The final time that I got was around the 2-minute 40-second mark, but I could easily cut that down to a low 2 minutes. If wave dashing was fixed, I actually G-leaped and I got better RNG on the Bonekeeper, but you'll see. The route that I take in this run is pretty casual, but the first thing I do is spawn in and clip through this wall with Lightning Assault. Not the cleanest clip, but it takes me to a bell door, which I can open. Then I can proceed to dash onto this tree. Ordinarily, I just wave dash here, but because that's patched, I just decide to slide with Glacial Arc. Now I just need to head over to the base of Generator in order to Glacial Arc up. So I Glacial Arc, and Glacial Arcing is a little more wonky nowadays due to the patches, but it's fine. Obviously, we get bad Bonekeeper spawn RNG. Ordinarily, he'd have a chance of just running over to us immediately, but none of his long-range attacks end up being the one that I need. When he does come over, I lose my Perfect Flash immediately, but I still manage to burst him down in a decent time. I'll put a clip on screen that shows how much quicker I can get it. Then I Lightning Assault through this wall, turn on Generator, and now I need to start heading over to 2 Furfire caverns in order to spawn bounders. So I'll once again just slide down this glacial arc. I could G-leap here, but G-leaping's a lot more sweaty, and especially with Etheron's gaze not working, I'm not as confident I can aim it after such a long break. So I'll take the Union Hook up here, and then we start, well, the most simple part of the run, which is just running over to this little gap above the void, which normally I'd wave dash, but we're getting to the most useful mantra of the game, which is just glacial arc sliding across there. Then I wait here, wind passage across the invisible barrier, climb up, get to the spot where I'll spawn in bounders, and spark swap this Bone Keeper. Now I just need to place a glacial arc here, go up it with Gale Lunge, and just dash and wind passage over to Chaser. I'll spawn my lightning clones in and use the Rapier crit to build up a lot of chain fast, along with Warden's Blades. I probably build up more chain than I need, but the main thing is I need to critical 4 times. So now I'll swap over to Battle Axe to get 1 hit away from proccing Grim, then I'll just burn it with Flaming Flourish, and now we're at Chaser. I'll start by critting in order to activate the Saint Sworn buff to make my turrets and mantras even stronger, spawn everything, crit again to get to the Frost Draw stance, and then I pre-fire and, well, Chaser is gripped.
Yes! Yes! Let's go! Let's go! Yes! Yeah! Hell yeah! We did it! 0 cycle grip! I figured out the method! I figured it out! Let's go! And we got nothing! Oh my goodness, it's possible! Oh, we did so much damage, holy! And under 3 minutes! Yo!
That's where I'm gonna call the Star Sovereign V3 progression. Despite the setbacks that we had in the prog, I still managed to 0 cycle grip comfortably in under 3 minutes. And that's with me taking a very casual route. And the thing is, this is also one of the 2 versions of Star Sovereign V3. The other one uses different strategies in order to clear Chaser in under 1 minute. Sadly, I couldn't show it on video due to Union Origin being bugged at the time of recording, and the build instantly wiping due to another bug. However, both Star Sovereigns are incredibly powerful PvE builds. As always, I'll be dropping the build maker links and showcase at 2,000 likes or 500 subscribers gained. And a huge thank you to my channel members, especially those kind souls on the Mega and Super tiers. They get these videos early along with other channel member perks. Check out some more PvE content and I'll see you all next time.